Hello everyone, welcome to the Hindu Daily News Highlights, and today is 18/7/2024. So let us try to understand the important news required for the UPSC Civil Services aspirants. The first news is Karnataka halts jobs bill amid industry uproar. So the Chief Minister Siddaramaiah says the bill mandating reservation for locals is still in an initial stage and decision will be taken after wide-ranging discussions. Minister allays the concerns of industry heads and provisions in the bill cleared by the cabinet were met with opposition from industry heads, while Kannada organizations welcomed the move. So this is the news. So the news is regarding the Karnataka state employment of local candidates in the industries, factories and other establishments bill 2024. They have initiated this particular bill, but there is a lot of opposition or differences from the industry. That is why they are actually holding this bill for some time. As the draft bill cleared by the Karnataka cabinet mandating reservation for locals garnered adverse reactions from the industry heads and trade bodies in the state. The government late on Wednesday announced that it has been temporarily withheld and a decision would be taken after the review. So that's about the bill. So here what we need to understand is the lawmaking process in a legislative assembly. You need to understand that is very important, and you should also have an idea about what are the important elements related with this particular bill. It mandates that industries, factories and other establishments appoint local candidates in the 50% of management positions and 70% in the non-management positions. So that is the crux of this particular bill. So here, what do you understand by the term local candidate? A local candidate is a person who is born in the state of Karnataka and who is domiciled in the state for a period of 15 years, who is capable of speaking, reading and writing Kannada in a legible way and has passed the required test conducted by the nodal agency. Okay, so this is the two important aspects regarding the bill. One is the percentage of the reservations in the jobs, and the other one is what do you understand by the term the local candidate. But the most important thing that you need to do is a research on the lawmaking process in the state legislative assembly. So this news, the center asks the states to ensure that queer community gets equal rights in prison. So here they are talking about the rights of the LGBTQ plus community. So the center has asked the states or union territories to ensure that members of the queer community, that is LGBTQ plus, get equal rights in prison and there is no discrimination in access to goods and services, especially prison visitation rights. So they came to understand that there are certain discrimination existing in this particular area. So that is why the home secretaries and the heads of the prisons, the Ministry of Home Affairs, said that it had come to the notice of the ministry that the members of the queer community were often discriminated against because of their gender identity or sexual orientation. So here what we need to understand is the rights, okay, the human rights, the importance of rights in our country, and they actually refer to the Model Prison Manual 2016. So it says that every prisoner shall be allowed reasonable facilities for seeing or communicating with his or her family members, relatives, friends and legal advisors for the preparation of an appeal or for procuring bail or for arranging the management of his or her property and family affairs. So already it is mentioned in the Model Prison Manual 2016, but still there are certain discrimination which is actually existing against the queer community. So in order to address this, the center asked the states and the union territories to take necessary action. So with respect to this particular news, you need to understand more about the queer community, the LGBTQ plus community, and also you can also refer the Model Prison Manual 2016, just an understanding about the Model Prison Manual 2016. So this particular news is regarding a rescue mission conducted by the Indian Navy in the Oman coast. Okay, 9 of 13 crew members of the capsized oil tanker rescued by the Navy of Oman coast. The Indian Navy's mission deployed warship INS Take, assisting in a search and rescue operation after the Comoros-flagged oil tanker MV Prestige Falcon capsized off the Oman coast, rescued 9 crew members and 8 Indians and 1 Sri Lankan, the Navy said late on Wednesday. So the tanker has 16 member crew, 13 Indians and 3 Sri Lankans. So in this particular mission, the Indian Navy has actually participated. They were there, and the vessel capsized about 25 nautical miles southeast of the Ras Madrak in Oman on July 15. Rescue efforts in coordination with the Oman authorities have been in progress since morning of July 16. The efforts by the Indian and the Omani assets are being undertaken in challenging weather conditions as the area is experiencing rough sea and strong winds. So it's a very important news regarding rescue mission conducted by the Indian Navy. In this context, please try to understand more about the recent initiatives done by the Indian Navy, or the recent rescue missions which were actually done by the Indian Navy. And please have an understanding about the Indian Navy, Indian Air Force and Indian Army also. The Indian military, please do have an understanding about it, because internal security, when you are actually studying, this is a very important topic. The security forces in our country is a very important topic. So please try to have an understanding about the military forces in our country. ED cannot invoke PMLA before police register case, says Madras High Court. So this is actually a statement from the Madras High Court. And the two important aspects connected here is ED, Enforcement Directorate, to have an idea about this, and also PMLA. PMLA means the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. The possession and unaccounted property or illegal money per se cannot be a reason for the Directorate of Enforcement to initiate proceedings under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 unless there is material to believe that the ill-gotten wealth is the proceeds of a crime related to a scheduled offence under the Act, the Madras High Court has held. So very important to understand about the PMLA. PMLA means the Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, and also about Enforcement Directorate. What is this particular body? What are the functions of Enforcement Directorate? Please do have an idea about it. 10 Indian dogs in Paris to guard Olympics. A very interesting news. Why? Because it is talking about the Paris Olympics 2024, and it is also talks about the representation of Indian dogs in the security aspects of the Paris Olympics. So 10 police dogs along with 17 handlers from India are in Paris to provide security for the Olympics at the request of the French mission in India. Very important news. Why? Because it is the first time an Indian K9 contingent will perform such duties abroad, the Ministry of External Affairs mentioned. So more about this particular news is the Embassy of France in India has requested the Government of India to provide an anti-explosive unit, specifically dogs, along with their handlers from July 11 to August 12 to enhance security measures for the Olympics and the Paralympic Games. The External Publicity and Public Diplomacy wing of the MEA said in response to the query from the Hindu. So this is about the news, and with this respect, please try to understand about the upcoming Paris Olympics 2024. Now, this is an interesting news, how the same year senses murmurs and withstands the deafening music. So try to have an idea about it. Read about this particular article, which actually comes in the Science and Technology page. So please read about it. Choosing the right track to cut the post-harvest losses. It's a very important article which is connected with agriculture. As we all know, for civil services examination, agriculture is a very important topic. So India ranks second in global agriculture production, but when it comes to the agricultural exports, we are having only 2.4%, placing it the 8th in the world. And there are certain reasons for this, and these reasons are like low productivity and inability to meet the desired quality standards, and inefficiencies in the supply chain such as an inadequate transportation network and infrastructure, which also leads to significant post-harvest losses. So basically in this particular article, they are mainly focusing on this area, that is the inadequate transportation network and infrastructure, which is actually leading to the post-harvest losses. So India's post-harvest losses amount to approximately 1,52,790 crore annually, according to the Ministry of Food Processing Industries 2022 studies. A closer look at India's post-harvest losses. The biggest loss is from perishable commodities, which include livestock produce such as egg, fish, meat, fruits, vegetables. During the export of perishables, approximately 19% of the food is lost. Particularly at the import country, trade partner stage, storage, transportation and marketing play a critical role in ensuring that perishable products reach the consumer in time. The strengthening of the agri-logistics is recognized as a priority by the Committee on Doubling Farmers' Income DFI. Okay, so here they are talking about the transportation. So mainly they are emphasizing on the railways. So railways assistance is really required to sort out this particular problem. Integrating the railways with the agricultural product logistics management can cut post-harvest losses significantly. So that is the main point that they are actually emphasizing on. So please do read about this particular article. It has a lot of points related to agriculture and how we can actually reduce the post-harvest losses in our economy or in our country. Here is an interesting article which actually discusses about the intergenerational equity as tax devolution criterion. So what do you mean by this intergenerational equity? In general, the intergenerational equity is the principle of providing equal opportunities and outcomes to every generation. Intergenerational equity ensures that the decisions or actions of the current generation should not burden the future generation. So basically, like the sustainable development, we can also connect this with sustainable development. From a public finance point of view, it refers to a situation where every generation pays for the public services it receives and does not burden the future generation through borrowings. So that's the crux, or that's the essence of this particular article that talks about the intergenerational equity. So as an introduction for this, they also discuss about the devolution of the union tax revenue to states, which is a hot topic in the recent years. In almost all the states, we could see that this discussion is going on. Okay, in relation, the context of that only, they are talking about the intergenerational equity as a tax devolution criterion. So please read about this particular article and you will definitely have a lot of information to gather and a lot of statistics to justify your answers in the mains examination. So this article is something connected with international relations, basically talks about our neighbor Nepal. So they say that the Nepal governments are the most unstable in the world. So in the context of the recent transition of the administration, basically the KP Oli became the Prime Minister of Nepal. In that context only this particular news article is coming, and they clearly mentions about why Nepal government is most unstable in the world. They have a list of the heads of government or the prime ministers of Nepal since its turn towards electoral democracy in 1990. So this is the list around 30, the numbers coming to 30. So that is why it is saying that it is unstable in the world. And they also talks about the instability in the world as such, and they listed certain countries here: San Marino, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Switzerland, Nepal. So all those countries are also listed here. The unstable countries are also listed here. So in this context, try to understand about the politics of Nepal. Very important, because Nepal is a neighboring country of for India, and understanding their politics is inevitable for us, because if some chaos or some problems happening in Nepal, that will definitely affect India as a neighboring country. So understand about the problems in the Nepal and their politics, their coalition politics, etc. That will be a very important topic for the civil services examination. Here is another important article which talks about the problems with the subcast reservations. So in this context, read about this article first, and in this context understand about the history of reservation in our country and how reservation is connected with the Indian Constitution, and what are the viewpoints of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. They mentioned about it here, but still try to understand more about his viewpoints on reservation, etc., which is very important to understand, because as we live in a country which talks about equality, which talks about freedom, which talks about democracy, equality and human rights, we also have to have an idea about the reservation in our country, because it is closely connected with the history of our country. The history of discrimination existed in our country, so please understand about that. And from the context of Indian Constitution, especially in right to equality, Article 14 to Article 18, please do go through it, because you will get a lot of points which are actually connected with the reservation in our country. Here is an article which mainly talks about the representation of women in Indian politics, or the political representation of women in our country. So they are coming up with certain statistics, certain data. So in the recently concluded general elections in the UK, a record of 263 women MPs, that is 40%, have been elected to the House of Commons. The South African National Assembly has around 45% women reservation, while the US House of Representatives has 29%. The universal suffrage was achieved in various parts of the world after prolonged political movements, and New Zealand, as a self-governing unit under the British rule, was the first to grant universal women's suffrage in 1893. So these are all important data. The UK itself provided all its women the right to vote only in 1928. The US granted the equal voting rights through the 19th Amendment only in 1920. So these are all important data connected with the history of representation of women in politics. Okay, and what about women representatives in independent India? India, as a sovereign republic, provided the right to vote for all its women right from the first general elections held in 1952. While the right to vote was provided to all women since the commencement of the constitution, the representation of women in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies has been far from satisfactory. The Lok Sabha had been very low, between 5% and 10% till 2004. It rose to marginally to 12% in 2014 and currently stands at 14% in the 18th Lok Sabha. The representation in state legislative assemblies is even poorer, with the national average being around 9%. The 73rd and 74th Amendment of the Constitution 1992-93 provided for 1/3 of reservation for women in panchayats and municipalities. However, the attempts between 1996 to 2008 to provide similar reservation in the Lok Sabha and assemblies were unsuccessful. So they talks about the history of women reservation in India also, but there is a gradual growth, but we are not seeing a rapid increase in the numbers. Already in 73rd and 74th amendment in the local self-government, they have given, in the constitution itself, they have given 1/3 representation, but we are not able to achieve that particular representation in the Lok Sabha and also in the state legislative assembly. So this is a very important article, and we also discuss about the 106th amendment, that is on April 2024, India ranks 143 in the list of countries in the monthly ranking of women in national parliaments, published by the Inter-Parliamentary Union, a global organization for national parliament. The Trinamool Congress has the highest proportion of women MPs in the current Lok Sabha at 38%. The ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and principal opposition Congress Party have around 13% each, and Nam Tamilar Katchi, a state party in Tamil Nadu, has been following a voluntary quota of 50% for women candidates in the last 3 general elections. So please try to understand about these aspects in our country regarding the representation of women in politics, and try to understand more about Article 106. These are all important aspects connected with civil services examination. As a UPSC aspirant, you cannot neglect this particular area. These are very important articles in terms of the civil services examination. So please do go through these articles. Try to do a little research about the main key concepts discussed in the article also, because that will help you in the examination. And make sure that you make notes. Okay, it is not like just reading the articles. Make sure that you make your own notes. You need to have a separate book or a particular material for you to write the notes, because towards the end of this preparation journey, when you approach the examination, When you go back to these notes, that will definitely help you in recollecting these informations and also to connect with the static area, the static syllabus. Here is a very important update regarding the IPM IAS Academy's guided prelims cum mains course 2025. It will help you to commence your preparation with the comfort of a complete online coaching experience. Some of the very important features of this course is you can learn at your convenience. You will have experienced faculty guidance. The most important feature is the affordability and quality training. And as we are facing a lot of stress and struggles in the preparation journey, in order to sort out that, you will have psychological well-being sessions. All the general studies subjects are covered in this particular course. All these topics are covered in small topic specific videos so that you can understand it in a better manner. You don't need to listen to two and a half hour lectures. And the CSAT sessions will be live, and current affairs also will be live. You will have mentoring sessions, you will have doubt clearing sessions, and every month you will be having test series so that you can equip your preparation journey in an efficient and effective manner. So in order to join this, please go through the scholarship test. The link will be provided in the description. So attend the scholarship test so that you will get a lot of benefits. If you are scoring really good marks, you will get a lot of benefits. So please don't wait. Please go check the description box, click on the link and take the test. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel, like and share our video so that you will get more information and inputs about the civil services examination. And we will have these sessions every day, the daily current affairs analysis sessions every day, so that it will help you to equip your preparation in a better manner, because in Hindu newspaper all news are not relevant for you as a civil service aspirant. For knowledge gaining or to understand about your current events and all news are relevant, but from the perspective of civil service examination, all news are not relevant. Certain news are really important when it is actually connected with the syllabus. So please do listen to our videos every day so that you will get a clear idea about how to choose and how to select the important news for civil services preparation.